flat. Stop letting this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. I feel like I'm JX. J-Way. I'm a perfectionist. Adderall got me restless. I'm gone. Run with a wild crew, they get reckless. Young boy, come up off that neck. Give me to the trends. See a lead, be the band.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of Corner to Copa. This show will not be quite as energetic and fiery as if we would have went live at midnight last night, but we will try to bring the energy. The Tigers are now in control of the series. They are up 1-0 going into game 2 at 8 o'clock tonight in Seattle with our ace on the bump. His return to Seattle, not his return to Seattle, but he had one offer coming out of college. And it was to Seattle University, and now he gets to punch them right between the eyes tonight. But, Coach, how are you feeling now that we are up 1-0?
Man, I feel like it's kind of a carbon copy of last year just because of the makeup of this team. It's every pitch and every inning you're just hanging on to. That was an exhausting ride last night. I'll say that much. And when I saw Vest and Finnegan, actually, I don't think Finnegan went 2. Vest went 2, and when he did, I'm thinking, oh no,
Finnegan might.
We don't have anyone left in their bullpen.
Yeah, no, it was pretty. No,
yeah. I'm like, okay. I thought maybe we would go Kiter in the 9th to save Vest for an actual save situation to have that. But yeah, man, it's a crazy game. We're still playing with fire, but by some way, somehow, you know, cardiac other cats.
Yeah, so it's scary because we know, or people that if you know, Will Vest is not good in extra inning opportunities. So for him to go the 9th and then that 10th, I was telling my girl, I was like, he is not good in extra innings. She's sitting there sweating bullets. She doesn't even really, she cares about baseball now, but it's like, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out who's going to pitch now that we are up in the game, who's going to pitch. And I said, oh yeah, I threw out a couple. Well, actually, I think I was like, there's really not too much left besides Montero. And she's like, didn't Montero pitch earlier? And I was like, okay, the other Montero. We have 2. So yeah, that was that was interesting. If you're watching on YouTube side, you can see his reaction as he closed out the game, and it was pretty. That was kind of nerve-wracking too. I think he had to go a Rosarena who popped out. I want to say a Rosarena and
Cal was second.
And Cal both popped out. And then who hit third? Oh,
Crawford, JP Crawford hit the single.
Rodriguez.
Yeah. Or Julio, because whoever was up after him was a lefty, and Dan Dixon was already saying in the back on air, he goes, "This is huge if you can go 1, 2, 3," because Kiter has a fairly inefficient track record against lefties this year so far.
Yes. So hold on, let me pull up this box score real quick. So yeah, so Julio, I can't remember how Julio actually got out. It was a ground ball, right? Up the middle, or
yeah, base hit up the middle. Yeah.
Oh no, he got on. Yeah. So he got on, and Naylor grounded out because Torque had the last put out at first base. So
yeah, it was like a swinging one hopper at him.
But it got dicey in what was that? This was, I think Will Vest was pitching on that double play on the tag, and then
Baez.
Yeah, where it was interesting because it was one of those like, okay, you got to tag him with the glove, but the ball is in his bare hand, and then he rips a throw that almost takes out the umpire.
He dirts it too to Scooble. He just grounds it in front of me. He had to pick it too.
Yeah, he just ripped. Yeah, he just rips it and hopes that Torque can dig it out, and he did. But that was Well, first of all, the theme of the game is surviving Alex Tosi. I don't know what are your thoughts on him as as an umpire. I know that should you hold down your people, but um his high fastball. I mean his strike zone was pretty big all around, but
It
that
was
high,
massive.
yeah. I mean, and then there was one that almost scraped the dirt that he called on Carpenter. I'm sure he's just, Carpenter's a pretty mild mannered, easygoing guy, but when Kirby's up there throwing 99 miles an hour and you're forced to chase up top like that, like it puts you in such a bad situation. I mean, the Tigers strike out enough. They're susceptible enough to the high fastball, Kerry Carpenter included, but he finally made he's made George Kirby pay every time that he's got a hit what has been a home run. He's 5 for whatever, and they were all home runs. So he's 100% got George Kirby's number, and he made it count. I mean, that was a piss missile he sent to the right field, and it was a no doubter. He usually Kerry doesn't pimp it too much, but when he got that, oh baby, I know that felt good.
Oh, that reminded me of the Class A one. Same thing. He knew it. The bat flip, the confident slow trot to start. He was just admiring it respectfully, of course, as a guy he is. But dude, that was a bomb. My folks and I, we were screaming immediately. Ball hadn't even gotten to the apex, and we're already screaming like it's gone.
Oh yeah. I mean, he froze. I mean, he probably didn't even feel it. He got it so good, and yeah, it was Class A esque. But this was high cheese right here. Like Class A was pretty much down the middle. This one was up in the zone, and it kind of came from. I mean, he's susceptible and always goes after that pitch, but it was probably a strike in the umpires in his eyes. So, but let's pull up the box score here.
Briefly on the home plate umpire, I think unofficially he had 23 incorrect calls last night, and his correct call percentage was only 86.1% out of all 2,445 games by home plate umpires, and only 26 games umpires had a lower score than him. Out of 2,445, he was the 27th worst of the year.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty bad. I mean, you take a box away and you just judge it, bare eye. I think you still. I mean, that one that he called to Carpenter, it was pretty bad.
Oh, dude! Like he let the high ones rip early, inside and off. Or like Gleiber was frustrated. Scooble, Carey was frustrated at a sinker. He got called a strike up and in. I think it was the same at bat of the home run. Second pitch of the at bat was up and in. It was definitely a ball. It was damn near at his letters. I'm like, I don't understand, dude. Like, that's not even the top of the strike zone anymore. It hasn't been. But anyways, I really do feel like that skew of missed calls was like 75% of the missed calls went their way. A lot of them. It was incredible.
That's the frustrating part about it. I didn't really didn't really see anybody on Seattle's side complain too much. Maybe I can think of one particular situation, but yeah, it seemed like it was directly affecting him, and he is from Ohio, so Illinois, so
Yeah. I mean, Kerry to get a little, you know what I mean? Like he wants to say something, but he knows he's got to stay in the game. My other thought on that is, and that's been the last couple games. Game 3 in Cleveland, Torkelson damn near, I thought was going to get dumped. His second at bat got called out on a really bad call. He had a bad at bat for the home plate umpire. And where's AJ? Where's he coming out and defending his guys on? Like, I've not seen him do that maybe once all year. Like, come on, you got to fight for your guys. It's playoff time, man. I know you're the analytic guy, but man, you got to get on the umpire's ass. Pause.
Valid point. Yeah, that's the one thing I didn't see. Yeah, there was one where Torres got called out that I thought that. I mean, it was minimal. I mean, he said what he said and he kept it pushing. Thank God. But yeah, let's take a look at the box score here. You had your words about Glaber in that leadoff spot. I mean, yeah,
God, he had that double too. He had a leadoff double and he got stranded.
The one hit that he did get, he was stranded on. I think it's a kind of a tough spot where we don't have a legitimate guy. Parker did come through with a hit, I guess. I can't really remember it, but he scored the game winning run. Or no, he was on base. He was on base for the Carpenter home run, right?
Yeah. The other, he should have had 2 hits. Munoz freaking closed his eyes and snagged that liner in the 9th. That was going to be a single for sure.
Yeah, they had a couple plays like that were kind of like, oh, okay. Or didn't they have a line drive? Wasn't there? I think there's a line drive from
third base. Yeah. He smoked that slider, and we were like, "Oh, it's a double. That's a double."
Yeah. And that was in the same inning, so it was kind of like, oh, okay. So they got the the fortune is on their side right now.
I mean, even with the missed calls going against us too, like how many fly balls at the warning track did we have to catch?
Oh, baby. Oh, yes.
That's why I kept feeling like we're going to lose. This game is being stacked against us actively in front of our eyes. There's no shot. We can't hit. We're scoring position. The missed calls against us hitting, really, that was the biggest impact. And then the fact that Seattle, almost 90% of their fly balls looked like they were going to go out. I was like,
yeah, that was crazy. The one that I remember vividly is Naylor's. I thought it was right after Julio's, I want to say.
Cal had one too, I thought, but ended up going to like straightaway center.
Yeah. Cal had one. But the one that Naylor, he kind of like had the same pose that Carey had. I don't know. He hit it a mile high. That's for damn sure. But yeah, they had some opportunities. Montero, he threw a couple balls that looked meatballish that they just couldn't get their hands on. But when you look at the bottom of their lineup, wow.
Yeah.
Below Naylor, he just had a walk. 0 for 4, 0 for 4, 0 for 4, 0 for 4, 0 for 2. Like they had nothing below Julio Rodriguez. He pretty much carried the team. He had 3 hits. I mean, Cal had 3 hits as well. But that was it. 3 hits, 3 hits from the 2 of them. And that's all she wrote. So this offense has, I mean, I saw it, I witnessed a little bit. They are stacked from top to bottom, but they are very inconsistent. And it's not going to get any easier for them today. This is why the game 1 was so pivotal. We knew that we were going to see the Monteros. Kiter did his thing. Rafael had that it's a clear indication how his outing is going to go if he starts with a walk. If he starts the inning off with that walk, it's not going to be well. I don't think he recorded a single out before they went and got him for Tyler Holton, who did a great job. I think he induced a double play. But Troy Melton, after having a rough first inning, admittedly, he settled in, and the announcers even said you could see a definitive difference in his confidence and his swagger after that first inning, because he did get into some trouble, but he was able to get out of it. 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned, which was that Julio home run, right?
Yeah, because he was out in the 6th by the time they hit the other one.
Yeah. Well, though it was Julio. I think Julio had an RBI single, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Drove him
yeah. But yeah, so another strong outing from Holton. Canley pitched. I think I took a shower during that one. I was like, I just came back.
That's all I need to do when he stepped on the mound from now on. Less anxiety.
Yeah. It's funny. I completely. How did that go? He had a strikeout.
No, I think he induced.
It says strikeout.
Not in the box score, it didn't.
And this one it does.
1 clean inning. Let's see here. Pitched the 8th. Oh, bottom of the 7th. Suarez lined out, and Zoni flied out, and Luke Raley pitch hit. Oh, for Robles, that's why. Raley did have a strikeout to end the in the inning on 3 straight pitches, freezing on a fastball.
Wait. Oh, you're talking about the strikeout was 3 straight pitches. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
okay. I completely. I know
the
the world was pissing their pants when he was up there. I missed it. I completely.
Well, because Suarez led off that inning, and he went 0-2 on him quick. And next thing you know, it's a full count, and the changeups they would have hit a left-handed batter. That's how bad they were missing. I'm like, oh dear God, he's either going to give him a cookie or he's going to walk him. And it's just cue the circus music with this guy again. But he did throw a changeup that was pretty much middle. But that was a line drive out right at Parker Meadows in center field.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they missed on some. I mean, because Kiter was kind of throwing it right down the middle. That's too kind of.
Yeah, I was driving home for that, so I didn't get to see the pitch location. I think Dan Dickerson did mention once or twice. He goes, maybe missed down or way, or up and in instead of
He was throwing it right down the middle.
Well, I'll say there were a handful of pitches on both sides that were missed middle, and half of them I feel like were just taken for a strike. And I'm like, what are we tracking here? Mountain threw a couple. Well, Mountain threw a couple sliders early that were middle. I'm thinking those are going to get mashed. They're not going to miss that. And I think they did miss one, and they just let the other one go. I mean, we had some too throughout the game as an entirety where we're fastball, middle, strike 3. What better pitch do you want than a 96-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle? That's a baseball player's wet dream. But so neither team really took advantage of some of the missed locations of some of those pitches. To your point on that, but I did know throughout the game, I'm like, man, I don't know if it's the layover Seattle or in Detroit, just kind of trying to get re-energized after 3 days in Cleveland and a long flight out to Seattle, but they just weren't quite as sharp, and the pitching was able to take advantage of that last night.
Yep, and it was good to see Riley had a couple hits last night, couple bloop shots. I feel like Torkelson worked some good at bats. He was able to get on base, although he didn't have any hits. It may be a rough rough trip for him. He's got a lot of tough right-handed pitchers. Luis Castillo pitches today, so it's not going to get any easier.
Put him at the top. Put him at the top. Why not? If he's going to draw walks, why not?
I agree. I agree with that. You're not going to see it probably, but let's go Torque at the top. I'm not mad at Torres in the 2-hole. Knock everybody down. Carpenter, Green, Colt in the, I think that would be 6-hole.
Yeah.
Dingler.
And everyone else pretty much in order almost.
Yeah, Dingler, McKinstry, Baez,
Parker,
Meadows. Okay, I guess that's 9. Yeah, you're just swapping Torque up top and then pushing everybody now, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so he won't have the alternate, but it'll be right, left, and then he'll have his mix pretty much all the way down to the bottom.
Yeah, and Javi had a quiet 0 for 5 because I feel like he had a couple hard hit balls, but
good. Everything got put in play. He didn't strike. He was the only Tiger that didn't strike out last night,
which is weird.
It's just crazy. Which we had. How many did we have last night? We had 16 strikeouts, and he didn't strike out a single time. That's crazy.
And Munoz has the nastiest slider I've ever seen.
Dude, that was. Then he was topping it off at 100, 101 too.
Yeah, and he went 2, and that was another thing they talked about yesterday. Is that I think that he hadn't put out more than 4 outs in an outing because he kind of tapered off at the end of last year. Because he was getting overused. So hopefully we don't have to see him tonight, but he's kind of over exuded himself last night. So it was good to see good to see Colt get that first hit. I think that was his first at bat, but he only had 2 overall. because he got pulled for Jemai, who did work a walk. Winsel Perez, I think what did he strike out twice?
He's hitting 053 with that add-on insurance hit in game 3. That's it. That's his only hit in the playoffs so far.
Dingler hasn't looked great, but he did work a walk. McKinstry had the game-winning single that plated Jones. No, I couldn't have been Jones. Was it Torkelson that scored? Yeah, I think it was. Tork scored.
Torkelson led off with a walk, and then advance on the wild pitch by Vargas.
Oh, okay, the wild pitch. Okay, which they brought into question the pass ball versus wild pitch because there was a wild pitch, and then McKinstry actually stole second, and, to possibly give it Baez an opportunity and. And then I think they had Baez play perfectly right up the middle because it looked like it was going to get up the middle the way McKinstry's did, but they were playing right in the middle for him. So
they played him a pull shift, which is crazy. I don't think we've seen teams deploy that really much at all against him. I mean, I guess with his kind of crazy swing, he is maybe a little pull happy by that nature, but he'll still go the opposite way.
That's during his nice little run. He was hitting the ball the opposite way a decent amount. We have ran for about 20 minutes without an ad, so we're going to get that out the way. We'll be right back. All right. So do you have the statistics as far as how many runners we actually left on base yesterday?
Yeah, so I've been kind of pulling some of those numbers here. Overall, before we get into the game last night individually, we are 37 we've left on so far this playoffs to the opponent 16 left on base. But last night we were 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position with 8 left on base and 16 strikeouts by Mariners pitching.
Wow. All right. Oh, another thing that I have to talk about, McKinstry looked great at third base. I mean, he's a great defender, and we all kind of, we know this, but he's just one of those guys that when you see it pulled over to the left side, you just know the play is going to be made. And I think that sometimes goes we just get, I feel like sometimes you take it for granted, but I think that if it was anybody else over there on our roster, I would have a lot more reservations about it. Even like Cole Keith, who, has played some third base, but it's obviously not his first position or second position. So, Zach, it's a blessing that, first of all, he can hit against lefties and righties, so you never have to really platoon him. But with them having all those righties, he'll obviously get every opportunity to play third base. That is his position for the rest of the series, especially after last night and getting the game-winning RBI. Yeah,
I mean, hell, you could even switch Baez and McKinstry on the left side. They're interchangeable over there. Baez has played a bit of third down the last 3-4 months of the year.
Yeah. I mean, I like right now. I like him at shortstop. He's another guy that, hey, he went 0 for 5 against righties yesterday. It is what it is. I don't want to see Sweeney out there. And even then, he hit a couple balls on the screws anyway. So he's on a bit of a heater even since the last series of the season. So his defense as far as the instincts on the instincts on the tag plays on that play where he tagged the runner and then threw to first base. I don't think everybody doesn't make that play. That's just something that you can't even teach. That's just his natural ability to improvise on the spot. So hats off to Mr.
Seattle double challenged that, remember?
Yeah, because they tried to they challenged the tag. The tag was only in question because of the ball the ball being in his glove. And then as far as the play at first, Naylor never touched first base. He jumped right over first base, so that was going nowhere. But great play by Torque too, because he gets some worm burners over at first base. He definitely missed a bad he had a good hop off the ground by Baez the other day that he missed, but he cleans up a lot. Any other thoughts about this current game before we project and talk about the next one?
Yeah, I think this one will kind of lead into the rest of the series, specifically just the way that Seattle's built in terms of arms. Like your point, Torkelson getting out with a walk. All the hits came from the lefties last night. McKinstry had his first hit in a while. Parker now has an 8-game on-base streak, believe it or not, as much as people are dogging about not hitting. I mean, this guy, when he gets on, he's almost scoring at like a 67, 75% clip. So that's a good sign. If he gets on, it's a pretty high percentage that he's going to score. So you can at least put one in the bank on those nights for the most part. But yeah, good swings by Colt Keith early. It looks like that ribcage inflammation. I almost would have figured, like, if he wasn't 100% and he just tweaked something, that would have been it. That probably been it for the rest of the series. Because due to injury, once you replace someone, they're not eligible to come back for the rest of that series. But especially the ribcage is just awkward. You use it almost unknowingly all the time. So, but other than that, yeah, laughing, coughing, seizing, all that. But
and you don't even, like you said, you don't think about it because it's like, oh, damn, I broke my ribs. I can't even laugh the way I want to.
I did that in middle school. That hurt for sure.
Did you?
I got speared. Last football practice for our first game of the year, I got speared on a QB bootleg end around by our middle linebacker. He hairline fractured 3 of my ribs and bruised 3 or 4 more. So I couldn't do any running plays as a quarterback for our first 3 games, which was 4 or 5 weeks time, so it could heal. But yeah, how about Carey this postseason, man? The guy, after he kind of slowed down near the end of the last couple weeks during our slide,
kind of
215 in September, not great. 261, 446, 707 OPS. Did slow down a bit, but man, he's hitting 333 this playoffs with that home run, 3 RBIs, 4 walks to his credit to 5 strikeouts. So like Parker, he's finding additional ways to get on base for a guy that's a high chase rate. And I got to give credit. I know we dogged him hard. We brought up his clip the other week of his strikeouts, but Riley Green, 375 this postseason, 412 OBP, 500 slug, and a 912 OPS. After that last regular season series in Cleveland, he perked up. Because remember, he had 1 hit against him all year. And now he's on this nice little run here where he's reached base in all of his last 8 of his last 10 games. He's made base, and he's got 4 multi-hit games in that span as well. So the lefty bash bros are heating up at the right time.
That's what we need to see. That is what we need to see. I still they showed Carey's runners in scoring position numbers.
That was bad,
and it was in the 100s. That says a lot. That says if he can get that going, he is going to eat and be healthy. Of course, he's going to be an easy 30 home runs and 100 RBIs every year. He's a shoo-in for that. The power is there. Anytime you see a guy that has 20, I think he has 24 home runs, 23 home runs, and 60 RBIs, and a lot of those are probably solo shots. You would have to assume, because you're going to get 20 alone off of batting yourself in. So,
didn't he have a bunch in the leadoff spot at the beginning of the year without Parker and Bierling? I think he was leading off until almost June.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was definitely leading off. Which, of course, you're going to get a lot. You're going to get a lot more less opportunities because you're going to be hitting in the bottom of the lineup. But, he's been in the middle of the lineup for most of the year. So those numbers have been extrapolated over a much longer period of time. But let's get into the probable starters for today's game.
Yeah, so we've got, as you alluded to earlier, we got the ace, hopefully the defending back-to-back Cy Young champion, Scooble, on the bump. We saw on some story posts on social media that he actually bought a handful of tickets for his Seattle University baseball program to attend the game tonight, which is crazy. But for our guy in arbitration making $12 million here, he can afford a little couple World Series tickets or playoff tickets. That is so good for him. Nice story there. Man, it's going to be electric. I think we noted, too, that it's more of a pitcher-friendly park. So after the bullpen last night, I'd love to see him go ideally 7. If we can go 7 and, whatever his strikeout rate is. But, man, if he goes 8, man, this bullpen is, everyone's going to be reset with the off day, travel day tomorrow. But, that bullpen's got to be thinking, hey, we just got 2 in Seattle, and we've pitched, roughly almost half of a game, and we're right in lockstep with the starters right now. So going against another good pitcher himself in Luis Castillo, who's 11-8 this year, 3.54 ERA, 162 Ks with a 1.18 whip. Righties do not hit well against him. 212, 244, 342 slug, 586 OPS slash line. Lefties, this is where I think we really stand a chance to maybe even have a blowout game, believe it or not. I know, right? Shocker, the playoffs. Blowout alert. That's on our side. Lefties are hitting 278, 348 OBP, 466 slug, and an 814 OPS. So those numbers are more ideal. It's just going to come down to, I think, the rest of the way, which unfortunately has been the theme going back to last playoff. The runners in scoring position. You mentioned Carey's average. That's actually right around the team's average in the last 6 playoff games. They are 11 of 69, which is 159 runners in scoring position their last 6 playoff games going back to last year too. So if they can get a couple of those to roll over or go their way tonight, I don't see why this game can't be 6, 7, 8, nothing, or 1 run, if that.
Damn, that's a bold statement right there. Luis Castillo has been a workhorse for them this year. He's made 32 starts, 180 innings pitched. He's 11-8 with 3.54 ERA. When you look at a Savant page, it's like kind of confusing. You see the fastball run value, the overall pitching run value. It's pretty good. The indicator that I see is that he's going to be around the strike zone. He doesn't walk very many people. But you look at his hard hit rate, the barrel rate. They've kind of been tagging him this year. The average exit velocity. He has been very hittable, and somehow he's found a way to keep his ERA at a fairly respectable. Sub 4. He's got a 5. He's very consistent when you look at it. His ERA is 3.34, 3.64, 3.5. He's, and his overall ERA in the 9 season is 3.55. Like, that is where he hangs out pretty much. So, obviously you're going to see a boatload of lefties, and you said that the lefties are hitting. You said 280 against them.
Damn near, yeah, 278.
Okay. Let's look at Luis Castillo's numbers versus Detroit in general. Versus Tigers.
He does have 2 starts against them this year.
Okay. He's overall he's 2 for 4. 2 and 4 with a 3.95 ERA. He's got his first 3 starts were with the Cincinnati Reds, though, I guess.
Yeah.
So as a Mariner, 2 wins came as a Mariner. Great.
Yeah.
And
this year he's 2-0 against him with the 3.75 ERA, 12 innings, 11 hits, 5 runs all earned with 1 home run allowed, 11 Ks to 4 walks, and Detroit hit 244 against him. So I feel like that's in between his splits averages. So I still kind of like that. 2.5 earned runs allowed per game.
Yeah, I mean, he got tagged on 7-11, but that was one of those games where we must have given up like 10, so it didn't matter.
Right.
As far as, his style of play, I mean, let me look back at 2020, because not a ground ball guy, but also not a strikeout guy. He's just a guy that gets hit pretty hard, but the defense is, I guess, aligned in a way to kind of cover for him, I guess. All right. So the walk rate stays low. He's getting a lot more chase, and his fastball velocity was a lot higher last year. It was not, his average was 95 last year, and this year, he's 35. His fastball velocity is still 94.9. So, decent, fastball, run value. He's got the sinker as well. Does that fall under the fastball category?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay. Because it's essentially a two-seam with pressure on the middle finger, if I'm not mistaken, or the seam, or I think you just apply pressure to the right seam, but
it's like a really, really, really firm splitter.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, this is what I like right here. It's pretty obvious that we need to be aggressive early in the count because he's going to be around the strike zone. I love the barrel rate, the hard hit rate. And the lack of extension is going to make that fastball not as live as the pitcher would want it to be. So, he throws a boatload of fastballs between the four seam and the sinker. That accounts for 68% of his total pitch mix. And then you see the breaking ball and off speed values are a lot lower. So, I think this creates a good opportunity for the Tigers to give Skubal some support, which I feel like late in the season they haven't, but overall I feel like he gets a decent amount. We definitely, it would be nice for the bullpen who was worked pretty hard, especially because we did go into extra innings yesterday. We saw Finnegan, we saw Montero, we saw both Monteros, we saw Holton, we saw who do we
Herder.
see? We saw Herder and we saw Canley. So the bullpen is pretty taxed. I mean, who didn't pitch yesterday is the better question.
Hannafy was the only one that didn't come in.
Okay, as I was figuring out who was going to pitch, I said it's going to be either Hannafy or Montero. So,
I mean, I knew it would be Montero because you assume it's going to go longer than one. Obviously, You don't plan for it, but
it's
the fact that he can go 4 or 5 innings if he had. I mean, he's traditionally been a starter, so 5 innings would have been fine for him.
Right. So luckily he was able to close it out and they didn't tie it back up or, God forbid, win the game, I guess. So yeah, it sets up perfectly for our best innings eater to come in and shut Seattle down. Did you talk about the splits between lefties and righties? Because they have a boatload of obviously Riley is a switch hitter. Polanco is a switch hitter as well. Who else? Rodriguez is righty. Rosareno is a righty. Suarez is a righty.
Let's pull it up real quick. Let's pull it up here.
Obviously, Naylor's a lefty. Canzone is a lefty. Rayleigh is a lefty.
I mean, for Josh though, for Naylor, doesn't matter. He hits both sides very well. That average is 295, but he hits lefties just a little worse at 287.
Right. Which I kind of knew. So that's kind of a moot point.
Eugenio is slash line against lefties is 164 average, 261 OBP, 453 slug, 714 OPS.
Wait. You said 160 what? For what?
Eugenio Suarez against left-handed pitching is batting 164 with a 261 OBP, a 453 slug, and a 714 OPS.
Okay, so he's awful against lefties, is what you're saying.
Rosarena surprisingly hits only slightly better against lefties, but he's seen like 80% of his at-bats against righties compared to lefties. 242, 296 OBP, 4.5 slug, a little bit better power from that side, hitting against that side, and a 753 OPS. So, respectable. Not great, but not bad. Let's see here. Who else did you want to look at? Julio? He's a righty.
Rodriguez.
Julio, okay. All right, Mr. Rodriguez. And yeah, that home run he hit last night was, dude, that thing was upper part of the box. I was surprised he was able to get on top of that. But
Right.
lefties, JP or Julio is hitting 256 with a 312 OBP, a 494 slug, and an 806 OPS. So again, kind of right in similar line with Rhodes Arena. Not great, not bad, but definitely respectable.
All right. So yeah. It's
go ahead.
JP Crawford. Yeah, I mean, it sets the table for a perfectly, putting your best pitcher in a position to really pin them up against the ropes after already, having to go, going with your, controversially going with your rookie out the gate. But the beauty is, even if we had lost yesterday, you still have the best chance to not up the series. So I'm excited. 8 o'clock, 5 o'clock Pacific. And we can really, really put ourselves in the driver's seat heading back to Detroit with the chance to eliminate them, because we'll get what it goes 2-2-1. 2-2-1. Yeah. So, but we won't get ahead of ourselves. We won't get ahead of ourselves. So, any closing remarks as we look ahead to game 2 tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of laid out the general game plan for Castillo. If we can convert some of our other runners in scoring position at bats and drive in a couple more, maybe incorporating some more bunts again earlier this time instead of maybe waiting a little bit later on. I know we deployed it consistently in that last game 3 in Cleveland. We were bunting from almost the second or third inning on. So, if we're going to continue to free swing, I would like to try and see about moving some of those guys over to ultimately manufacture the old-fashioned way, if you will, some more runs, because to your point too, and I think a lot of us have seen that the lack of run support for Skubal the last month or so of his outings has been fairly evident. And considering it's playoffs, every run matters, and you just don't know who's gonna have a great game. Every time we see Canley or Rafael Montero, to your point about him starting with the walk, you kind of know that's his MO downslides when he starts putting guys on for free. Same with Canley, and before then, he'll serve up a cookie 3-run bomb. But so you just kind of hope those guys stay locked in, and then Montero will bounce back. We know he's a veteran too, but convert some of those guys in scoring position, move them over, bunt them over. We got guys that can for hits. Zach, Parker, I think Perez had a nice sack bunt, I think, early in game 3 in Cleveland. So at least he shows he's capable of laying one down. Obviously not going to ask guys like, Torkelson and Green and Carp to lay one down. So, that's how they equate it. But yeah,
or Glaber, I guess. I mean, he's a number 2 hitter. It's kind of something that would be nice to be able to use at your disposal.
He'd
disposal.
need a 5-second head start out of the batter's box, laying it down just to get
for
him
a hit. Oh yeah, for a hit, no chance.
He's
But
so slow.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, yeah, get creative or whatever. I mean, to your point too, I don't expect the order to change. I mean, let me get your thoughts on that. I don't think you're expecting anything wild to change, right?
No, I mean, I think that the idea of putting Torkelson in the leadoff slot would be, I mean, it's almost crazy enough to be something that AJ would think of, because I mean, I think that he's like, he's got the smartest man in the room syndrome, and would, love the idea to be like, aha, I got a guy that's getting on base, but it's not going to happen. But other than that, I like Perez coming off the bench. Hold on, let me go back to the batting.
Yeah. But yeah, I think he could go back to Parker if he wanted to. He could.
At the top.
You
Yeah.
know,
I think that Parker probably would have got on base more yesterday, but the calls were so awful that he,
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he probably could have.
He took a bad three. He lost one at bat to a very questionable. I don't even call it questionable. It was a terrible strike three call.
And he's 6'5", so when the pitch is high to him, how high is that pitch really? Like, carry in the 2-hole. I do like. Yeah, Green's playing well. Yeah, I would like to. Yeah, either that or Colts in the one at the top of the lineup. I'm not mad at that either. Or Zach.
You want to get really crazy? We could do it this way. We could do Parker, and just because he is struggling, I think you almost just swap Gleiber and Baez. I know Baez didn't get a hit yesterday.
Yeah.
But he's been one of 3 or 4 guys that have been getting hits in that Cleveland series, and he didn't record a strikeout last night, so he's tracking the ball better than he has been in the last 3 months.
The reason why I know that I'm not mad. It's not crazy. Outside of that, it's not crazy. It's kind of crazy, but
yeah. But you look at the numbers of it, you're like,
I get the logic behind it. But the reason why I know it's not going to happen is even when Javi was hitting at an all-star level, he was still batting in the 8th. So that's just where they want him. I think that he's still too much of a free swinger, and you can't depend on him to move runners over. Whereas Gleyber, he's still going to take his walks, and he's still going to hit for. You want your high contact guys at the top of the order, and Javi's just not. I mean, he's sporadic. Like he may hit a home run today, but he also may go 0 for 5 and strike out 3 times. There's just not enough consistency and continuity. I think you still, even though Gleyber's had a rough second half of the year and rough month, I think there's still a certain level of comfort. I mean, he did sting a ball yesterday. So yeah, I think the more realistic is you see McKinstry go to the top of the lineup. He's going to give you professional at bats, and it's pretty obvious that he can come through in pretty clutch situations. I think that you can, grant him, a reward for the win yesterday, and it's not going to jump out on the page to you. But yeah, I think that Dingler probably continues to fall in the lineup because he just hasn't been. I mean, nobody can complain about anything that Dingler does because he does such a great job defensively, and he's done such a great job hitting all year. But I mean, I'm not mad at it.
You led the team in average this year. Your second-year catcher led the team in average at almost 280.
Yeah, and he hit horribly last year. Jake Rogers was our, just to show you the upgrade that we have. Jake Rogers was our everyday catcher this time last year. So,
to your point with Rogers, he might somehow get a sneaky start in the series if Dylan continues to stay on the hitting schneid, because He's been the same guy, that guy all year. Struggled to hit, great defender, good arm, good game caller, obviously knows the staff very well. I think that's something AJ is partial to doing. I wouldn't say that would totally surprise me if that happened at any point in the series, if Dalen continues to struggle with the bat.
Yeah. My only reservation was that as I think I have seen a slide in Rogers' defense a little bit. He's not quite as great of a defensive catcher as he used to be, but I'm not mad at it. I mean, we know in a normal setting, a catcher is going to get a day off throughout the week. So I think the Dodgers didn't in their game didn't start Will Smith. They started whoever their backup catcher is, because Will Smith ended up pinch hitting later on in the game. So it's possible it worked for them because they won. They came back and won yesterday, but we're not even going to talk about the National League. We'll get to them. Hopefully in the World Series. But as we close out, please subscribe to the channel. I know this was an early morning show, but yeah, we will continue to give you post games. Probably won't get one once again. I don't know if we smoke Seattle tonight. I'll make an exception. So because it's gonna be super lit heading back to Detroit. But yeah, Coach, any parting words before we get up out of here?
Hey, that just means people, check the socials in case we do go live. Follow the X account, the IG account, all that good stuff. Continue to check out Foster on his page over at Fans First Sports Network, writing not only about the Tigers, but also your Detroit Lions as well. So a lot of stuff going on. It's October. Leaves are changing. It's great weather out. The Tigers are getting hot.
Hey, the Tigers are getting hot. Let's go. We out of here.
Get your lick back. If a nigga gon' do something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat. Stop, let this shit slide and get your lick back.